Welcome back, guys. So we are still on our talk, preparing and energizing for growth. So I think we've discussed on preparing, and I think we've discussed on modifying what should be modified. So I think what I've got here is energizing for growth. I think we've discussed on preparing, so I think we are now on energizing for growth. It won't just take much of our time. It is just something that is just concise. All we need is just to put our mind to it, like try to think of it very well, like make sure you reach an understanding. If it is going to take you 2 times to digest what these things are, you can just take your time to digest it. It is something you are using your data on, it is something you spend your data on, so try your best to at least make sure what you're listening to is something you are trying to get into, you are digesting it. So if it's going to take more than once for you to digest it, you had better do it, because you can't afford to just let it sleep like that. So successfully energizing for growth. So before we talk on how to successfully energize for growth, we need to understand what energizing means. So energy is the capacity to do something. Energy is you having the capacity to do something. Capacity sound physics, but it, let's say energy is you being capable of doing something. We need to understand something, that there is a difference between capability and ability. So energizing for growth means you having the capacity, to grow. That is what energizing for growth means. And you can also go further, like saying energizing yourself for growth simply means gathering force and pressure to focus on things that will bring about growth. You need to get this again. Energizing for growth simply means gathering force and pressure to focus on things that will bring about growth, things that will result into growth. So guarding them together and trying to make use of them, that is what energizing for growth really means. So I think we've talked on what energy is, and we've talked on what energizing for growth means on a rough sketch. So I think we need to go for how to successfully keep on energizing for growth. How to successfully keep on energizing for growth. Number one, it requires you to connect all dots that will boost your willingness to aim seriously at gaining energy for growth. You can take it again. It requires you to connect all dots. It requires you to make sure you are channeling the right thing together. It requires you to make sure you connect every wire that has that charge in them, connecting them together in order for you to be able to seriously aim at gaining energy for growth. So it requires you to connect all dots that will boost your willingness to aim seriously at gaining energy for growth. So if you must successfully keep on energizing, that is, you keep on pushing, you do it continuously, not something you do today and tomorrow you're out of it, not something you do tomorrow and in the nearest future you post, something you keep doing. How to successfully keep on energizing for growth. So it requires you to connect all dots. You are leaving no stone unturned. That will boost, that you yourself know within yourself, that will boost your willingness to aim seriously, to aim carefully, to aim with your consciousness, to aim with a conscious mind at gaining energy for growth. So that is how that is the first way you can successfully keep on energizing for growth. You connect all dots that will boost your willingness to aim seriously at gaining energy for growth. It requires you to formulate and initiate every idea you think of as an useful tool for energizing yourself. Here, this is it. It requires you to formulate and initiate every idea, any, whatever the ideas are, no matter how much they keep appearing, initiate them. The moment you're formulating them, initiate every idea you can think of, and every idea this will help you in energizing yourself. So it requires you to formulate those ideas and initiate those ideas. Initiate them into your daily life. Probably you see, like, you noticed that whenever you take a walk, you have some time to relax your brain. You do some great deal of work. Try and initiate the plan. Add it to the plan of your daily work. Add it to your daily plan, like, okay, I have to do this a day, so I will be able to get this. By so doing, you are energizing yourself for growth. So it requires you to formulate and initiate every idea you can think of. Every idea you can think of as a useful tool for energizing yourself. That is what it is requiring from you. Those are how you can keep on energizing yourself for growth. If you energize yourself for growth once and you're not doing it again, it is as good as you've done nothing, because you will only be left with memories of, I've done this before, and now what happened, it is changed. So if you must successfully keep on doing this stuff, you need to formulate and initiate every idea you can think of as an useful tool for energizing yourself. Formulate them, bring them into the plan. Lastly, this is something that is kind of important. Never expose your mind to things that will drain out the energy you've gathered. Never expose your mind to things. Never expose your mind to thinkings. Never expose your mind to feelings that will drain out your energy you've gathered. The hard-earned energy you've gathered. The energy you've gathered through your subconscious mind. The energy you've gathered through your efforts. Never expose your mind to things that can just snatch them away and replace them with emptiness. Going after a lady or going after spouse for now is going to deprive you of growing. It's going to deprive you of growth. So, and after depriving you of growth, it will replace you with kind of idleness. You have to follow some set of rules that your partner is placing you on. So this for you. Don't just try your best to just stay away from them. Never expose your mind, because the reason we are talking about mind here is because most of what happens to us begin from the mind. Ask every billionaire. They aspire to be whom they are now. They've aspired to be what they have their aspiration back then in those days. Their mind has been there before their reality, before their body, before their soul is been there. So their mind has been there. They've pictured it. Try to imagine how they are going to do it. So your mind is a very useful tool in your life. So never expose your mind to things that can be of harm to you. That is just a general talk. But pertaining to this particularly, never expose your mind to things that will drain out the energy you've gathered. Drain out the energy you've gathered and replace those energies with emptiness. Be it distractions. Just strive hard to stay away from things that will make your efforts to be fruitless. So that is just it. So I think we are done on preparing and energizing for growth, qualifying for growth. So we have a new topic, accountability. We're going to be treating that as well. So as time goes on, God help us. So everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. You can let me know my mistakes. We all have flaws in life. We are only aiming at perfection. We are striving to work towards perfection. Whatever my mistakes are, make sure I am somebody. You are somebody I can confide in. You can just walk up to me and tell me this is where I'm getting it right. This is where I'm not getting it right. We are families. Thank you very much for listening to this message.